and welcome to another game, the next game in the 1987 American League replay. We are at April the 18th, and I think I actually left the score sheets. I wonder if the score sheets in the previous game I left downstairs by accident. Oh well, I'll have to just read them to you, I guess, 'cause I thought I brought them with me, but apparently I did not. And I don't really feel like going downstairs to get them, so we will just have to live with it. I think I got everything. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I do have them here. Hold on. They might be down here with the other score sheets. Yes, I do have them. Never mind. I do have them. I do have them. So we've got them. No problem. Let me see if everything fits okay on here. Might need to go up just a hair to try to fit everything. And we shall see. And before the game starts, obviously I'll go over the previous games that were played and how the teams did. Of course, it looks like it's got a slant to it, so let me fix that. There's always something to fix, it seems that way. Fix the focus and everything else that might need to be fixed. I think I made it worse. Let's go this way. Hopefully that'll help now. This is the first time I'm using these sheets that I got from Spokane Steve. So they're very similar to the Strat-O-Matic Form B, but you get the extra pitching spaces to do 6 pitchers. So it's a little bit, not as compact, and there's more, the place to put the ratings is larger and less room for notes, but I don't really make that many notes anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Let's see here. It looks like everything is where I need it to be. So we will go ahead and go over the previous games, or the games played earlier today. And we'll start out with the Chicago White Sox and the Detroit Tigers. It was the Tigers winning the game 10-2. Hello, Alan. How you doing? Tigers thumping the White Sox 10-2. They won the real world game 3-2. This one they win 10-2. And Matt Noakes had 2 home runs, his 5th and 6th of the season. I believe he now leads the league in home runs with 6. He hit 2 of them. Darrell Evans hit his first. Lou Whitaker led off the game with his first, and that kind of set the tone for everything else. Greg Walker did hit a solo shot in the 4th, but by that time they were already down 6-0, and it just, Neil Allen got knocked around pretty good. He's now 0-1. Jeff Robinson with the win is now 1-0. Tigers are even their record at 5-5. White Sox dropped to 6-4 after a very fast start. They are going back to their normal ways. And maybe the biggest surprise of all is the Boston Red Sox finally win a game. They defeat the Blue Jays by the score of 1-10. I'm sorry, by the score of 7-2. They're now 1-10 on the season. Blue Jays dropped to 8-3. Jeff Sellers, surprisingly, 6 2/3 innings, only allowing the 1 run. He gets the win to prove to 1-1. Jim Clancy takes the loss. He gave up 11 hits and 6 runs in 4 innings as the Red Sox pounded out some hits. Dave Henderson hit his first home run of the season. Jim Rice hit his 3rd of the season as they put up 5 in the 3rd and made it stick. Hello, Mr. RJL. You can go ahead and stream RJL. I give up trying to keep track of who's doing what. I'm just going to do what I want to do, and people can go where they want to go. So there's too many streamers out there for me to worry about. If I waited till nobody was streaming, I have to go out about 11 o'clock at night or something. So I really don't worry about it. I looked for a few minutes and didn't see anybody streaming, so I said, might as well do it. Plus, I'd planned to do this anyway. I actually planned to do it at 7:30, but I'm a little bit late. So, all right, so the Red Sox get their first win of the season. All right, Milwaukee Brewers improved to 10-1 as they beat the Rangers by the final score of 6-3. They were behind 2-0 in the first. Pete O'Brien had a 2-run homer to give them a lead. But then the 5-run 7th inning turned in by the Brewers as Bobby Witt started to tire, and then we brought in Mitch Williams, and he started walking guys and giving up hits. And next thing you know, the 5 runs on the board. They win at 6-3. Wegman the winner. He's 1-0. Plesac his 4th save. Mitch Williams the loss. He's now 0-1. Milwaukee 10-1. Texas 4-6. The Oakland A's, and I forgot to write the win-loss record on there like a dummy. But the A's defeat the Mariners by the score of 7-4. Real world, they beat them 7-5. This game, they win 7-4. Eric Plunk got the win, went 5 innings to improve to 1-1. Dennis Eckersley went 4 innings to get a very grown man save. 4 innings, no hits, no runs, no walks, and 5 strikeouts for his third save of the season. And the losing pitcher was Mike Moore. Let me pull up. Hello, Dav and Doug. Let me get the standings here so I can figure out who was what. Now, Oakland has improved to 10-2, so I need to write that in there. Very surprising start for Oakland at 10-2. Seattle drops to 7-5. They're now 3 games back. Of course, it's very, very early, only 12 games in, so nothing to really be alarmed about. Next game, the Cleveland Indians and the Baltimore Orioles. It was the Indians winning in 11 innings, 9-7. And a home run from Julio Franco was the difference in the 11th inning. Cleveland 6-5. Baltimore drops to 3-8. Baltimore actually won the real game 16-3, but not this time. Ken Schramm pitched pretty well, but Doug Jones got the win in relief, and Ernie Camacho got the save. Tony Arnold took the loss. He's now 0-2. Eddie Murray hit his 3rd home run. Terry Kennedy his 4th. Ray Knight his 2nd in a losing cause for the Orioles. Carmen Castillo, a pinch hit home run, another brilliant move by a certain manager. Pinch hit home run in the the top of the 9th that tied the game and sent it to extras, and that was because Castillo pinch hit his 2nd of the season. Pat Tabler hit his 2nd, and Corey Snyder his 3rd. And the last game to be played, the Twins and the Angels. They're now both 3-8 as the Angels shut out the Twins 2-0. It was a pitching duel between John Candelaria and Frank Viola. In fact, Viola went the distance, 8 innings. He gave up a 2-run home run to Wally Joyner in the bottom of the 8th. They were pitching shutouts until the 8th. California won the real world game 1-0. They won this game 2-0. And like I said, Candelaria actually did not get the win because he came out in the 8th inning. So Willie Frazier picks up the win with an inning of relief. He's 1-1. Viola drops to 1-2, and Gary Lucas his 2nd save. And again, this is a newer setup because it's the score sheet I got from Spokane Steve. So I'm going to try to use that for the first time and see how it plays out on this particular setup. And we'll see what happens. Yes, they did start this season 13-0 in real world. Now, I got them almost close, but just couldn't quite get them across the finish line to make it there. Let's see. Do I need to improve the focus on this? Let me do one thing real quick. See if that helps. Might not have any effect. Yankee colored dice, the best I could get. I mean, they're both blue, so you kind of have to go with what you have. So on the mound for the Yankees is Dennis Rasmussen, and on the mound for the Kansas City Royals is Danny Jackson. And I'm going to pull up the Strat-O-Matic computer so I can at least get the pitcher's record. I probably won't score the game as I'm playing it because it may just slow it down too much. I'll probably just do the inputting after the game is over. But I at least want to get the pitching records for Jackson and Rasmussen. So let me do that real quick. Get to the team stats for the Kansas City Royals, the visiting Kansas City Royals. And Danny Jackson will be making his 3rd start. He's 0-0 with a 2.40 earned run average, 15 innings pitched, 8 hits, 4 runs, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. I'm sorry, a home run allowed, 7 walks and 11 strikeouts for Danny Jackson. For the Yankees, Dennis Rasmussen, get to his numbers. Probably making his 3rd start as well, I imagine. Yes, he is. He's 1-0 with an ERA of an even 3. He's pitched 12 innings, given up 11 hits, 4 earned. No home runs allowed, 3 walks, and 9 strikeouts. So Rasmussen 1-0 and Jackson 0-0. I actually put the records here. I just didn't put their ERAs. Looking at their wild pitch and balk ratings, Jackson's a wild pitch of 4, balk of 0. Rasmussen, wild pitch of 8, balk of 0. Ballpark effect, singles are 1 to 7 for both lefties and righties. Home runs differ slightly. 1 to 9 for lefties, 1 to 8 for righties. So that's where we stand there. And I think we're just about ready to get going here. Now I just got to figure out how I want to set this up. Again, it's a different kind of score sheet, so I'm going to try to figure out how I can do this at least early on. Probably be a work in progress, I imagine, as I try to fit everything in. All right, so I think everything is fitting in there about as good as I'm going to get it. So we are ready to go. Willie Wilson will lead off for the Kansas City Royals, and I'll get his numbers for you. Willie Wilson is hitting, whoops, dropped a die there. Willie Wilson is hitting 229, a homer and 2 runs driven in, so not doing quite as well as he would like. He's a switch hitter, turnaround bat from the right side against Dennis Rasmussen. There you see the benches and the bullpens for both teams. And we're underway. That's a 6-7. Rasmussen Wilson is a right-hander. 6-7 is a ground ball shortstop X. So right away we've got an X chance for the shortstop Tollison, who's a 3E22. So as a 3, he needs a 5 or better to get to this. He does not. It's a 1, so we get through for a base hit. Now we check for an error. E22, he's got to avoid 6, 15, 17, and 18. And that is a 16, so I think he just missed it. Yep. 15 through 18 is there, but not a 16. So it will not be an error, but it will be a base hit for Willie Wilson. And now the getting the jump comes into play for Rasmussen, who's a +3 hold. And the catcher, Skinner, is a 0, so it's a +3 overall pitcher quotient. So if he gets the lead, he's almost guaranteed to make it. But in order to get that lead, he needs a 3 through 6. He does not get the lead, so he will hold. And, of course, they will hold him on as well. And that'll bring up Kevin Seitzer. Seitzer is hitting a measly $167 and 30 at-bats, a home run and 2 runs driven in. But the Havoc roll starts us off. Nothing going on. Infield looking to turn that double play. We get a 4-6, and that's trouble for Rasmussen. 1 to 4 is a triple. That's an 8. It'll be a double to center field. Question is, do they send the runner? Center fielder is Henderson. He's a +2 arm. Wilson runs at a 13. Being held makes him a 12. +2 makes him a 14. But with nobody out, I think you really want to. I think they're just going to hold him there at third base and not risk anything. They got second, third, nobody else, so they've already got the Yankees on the ropes. And George Brett, the batter. Brett's hitting 292, a homer and 3 runs driven in. And the infield for the Yankees early on are going to play back. They need outs. 4-9, and that's a ballpark blast for Brett. He's got normal power. It's a 1 to 7, but that's a 14. So it will be a sacrifice fly to right field, however. So he doesn't get the home run, but he does get the sac fly to right field. And the Royals are on the board. It is 1-0. Sacrifice fly from George Brett. That is his 4th run batted in of the season. And now that'll bring up second baseman Frank White. He's hitting 233, a homer and 4 runs driven in. Seitzer at second base is not going to be held. So White trying to bring home Seitzer. It's a 6-9, and that's a fly to center with a C. It means the runner has to hold. On all fly ball C's, runners hold. So White, the ball was not deep enough to advance the runner. So he will have to hold, and now we got a clutch situation for Danny Tartabull. Clutch being defined, of course, by runners in scoring position with 2 outs. So Danny Tartabull will be stepping up, and he'll be trying to drive home a second run of the inning. Tartabull on the replay is hitting 219, a homer and 4 runs driven in. A lot of these Royals have low batting averages. Nothing on the Havoc, so now we go to Rasmussen and Tartabull with a clutch situation. It's a 2-9 left-handed for Tartable. That is a clutch. That's a single, but the clutch takes it away. Right on cue with the clutch. He is anti-clutch on a 2-9, so that single becomes a line out to short, actually a pop out to short, to end the inning. But Kansas City does get a run, but it could have been worse. It could have been more without the anti-clutch effect. So Tartable kind of chokes in the clutch there, but the Royals do pick up a run. And they do pick up a run to take a 1-0 lead. And they've given that 1-0 lead to Danny Jackson. Danny Jackson will be facing Ricky Henderson. I'll do him vertically. Maybe that will help make it better. It's probably the better way to do it anyway, now that I think about it. So Danny Jackson gets that 1-run lead to work with, and he's going to be facing Mr. Ricky Henderson. He steps to the plate against Danny Jackson. And my computer, I forgot to plug it in. So the computer just went kaput. Now I got to restart it. I've just plugged it in. Now I need to go back and get to the screen for the Yankees, so I can get their stats. So Ricky Henderson on the replay is hitting .216, no homers or runs driven in. He has stolen 3 bases, but he's been struggling. 2-6, and he's going to continue. I'm sorry, that's a clutch, but it's a single. Obviously not a clutch situation. So now Ricky definitely going for the stolen base without question. Hi, Frank. How you doing? All right, something's not right here. Let's see if I can't get this to show up correctly. At least it didn't look right on my side. Maybe it's better now. We'll see. All right, so Ricky Henderson, to get the lead, he needs a 6 or a 7. Jackson is a -1 hold. Hearn's a -1 arm, so it's a total of -2. So if he gets the lead, it'll be a 1-15. But he needs a 6 or a 7 to get that lead. He gets the 7, he gets the lead. So 19, 2 for being held is 17. The hold for pitcher and catcher is -2, makes him a 15. 1-15, Ricky will steal his 4th base. He does. So Ricky Henderson, stolen base number 4 on the season. And he is in scoring position with nobody out. And, of course, they will hold him on second base for Willie Randolph. And Willie Randolph now on his replay is hitting .235, no homers, 2 runs driven in. Havoc roll, nothing happening. Jackson to Randolph. 4-9, right-handed, is a walk. So Danny Jackson carving out some trouble. First and second, nobody out for Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly. And Mattingly is hitting .263, 2 homers, 8 runs driven in. Royals looking for the double play. 4-2, and that's another walk, and that's going to load the bases. So a single and 2 walks have loaded the bases with nobody out. And that brings up Mr. Dave Winfield, George Steinbrenner's favorite player of all time. Dave Winfield is up with the bases loaded. Royals are playing the infield back. They need some outs. Winfield is hitting .263, 2 homers, 4 runs driven in. 4-6. Right-hander's another walk. So Danny Jackson, with his 3rd consecutive walk, forces in a run, and he's still in deep doo-doo because the bases are loaded with nobody out. And wonder what's going on with Danny Jackson, why he's losing control here. Here's a Gary Ward. Ward is hitting .243, no homers, 5 runs driven in. Infield, that's a 1, so it's possible wild pitch on Danny Jackson. So let's get the wild pitch number on Jackson. It is a 4. So 1-4 is a wild pitch. It's a 3. So not only is he going to walk 3 guys in a row, he's going to wild pitch in a run. So Danny Jackson definitely winning the Depend Undergarments Loss of Control Player of the Week. with all this walking he's doing and wild pitching. And the Royals really don't want to have to go to their bullpen, but so early because I believe they have a doubleheader scheduled the next day. So let me verify that in the schedule. Let's see, on the 19th. Yeah, they have a doubleheader scheduled, so they really don't want to go to their bullpen very early if they can avoid it. They would really choose to not do that. Infield's back. They need outs. They want a double play. But first of all, Jackson's got to throw strikes. That's a 3-12. Ward to a lefty is another walk. Unbelievable. 4 consecutive walks. And 3 runs have come in now. No, I'm sorry. 2 runs have come in. The wild pitch already brought the run in. So let's see here. Wow. No, I'm sorry. I put second and third, didn't it? So it's going to be bases loaded again. So bases are loaded again. 2 runs are in. It's 2-1 Yankees. Nobody out. And here's Ron Paul Kittle. Havoc roll. Nothing happening. But something needs to be happening for Danny Jackson, or the Royals will be dipping into their bullpen, which they really do not want to do because of that doubleheader coming up. And coming up is Kittle, who is hitting .300. He leads the team in hitting. He's only had 20 at-bats, but he's gotten 6 hits, 2 homers, and 6 runs driven in. 4-5, right-handed is a fly ball right field C. That will not be deep enough. So they get the out, and without anybody scoring, keeps the bases loaded with 1 out. Now they're going to play back for the double play because the double play will get them out of the inning. And here's Mike Pagliarulo. Pagliarulo hitting a .188, 6 out of 32, a home run and 3 runs driven in. Another 1, so a 4 or less, and we got a second wild pitch of the inning. We do not. It's finally blocked this time by Hearn. So here's the pitch to Pags. 5-6 left-handed is a strikeout, and a much-needed strikeout for Danny Jackson. If he can get out of this with just 2 runs allowed, it'll be a miracle. But he's got a chance because he's facing Joel Skinner, and Joel Skinner is hitting .185, no homers and a run driven in. So it's a good chance to get out of the inning if he doesn't walk him. 6-3. That's a fly ball left field X. That is the left fielder, Bo Jackson. He's a 4E14. That 4 is a little... He seemed like he had better range than that, but they rate him as a 4. So what are you going to do? On a 1-4, he has to have a 12 or better to get to this. 12 or higher. He does not. That is a 6. And that's going to be a single, 2 stars. So a single and 2 stars for Joel Skinner is going to score Mattingly and score Winfield. It is now 4-1 Yankees. Going to third is Gary Ward, as Bo knows a lot, but he doesn't know how to play left field apparently because he could not get to that. It is now a 4-1 game, and the 9th man to bat in the inning, Wayne Tollison at the plate. Tollison is hitting .185, a homer and 4 runs driven in. Skinner, of course, not being held at first. That's a 5-6, and that is a strikeout to end the inning. But the Yankees send 9 to the plate. It's an Abraham Lincoln 4-score inning, and the Yankees now take a 4-1 lead after 1 inning of play. And Danny Jackson has to regroup, obviously. Very rough start for Danny Jackson. But the guy who's loving it all is Dennis Rasmussen. He's got a 3-run lead to work with, as he will be facing Bo Jackson. So he's going to try to make up for that faux pas in left field where he couldn't get to the ball. He's going to see what he can do. Bo Jackson on the replay for Kansas City. He is hitting .258, a homer and 3 runs driven in. 6-8, and that is a strikeout. So not a good night so far for Mr. Bo. That'll bring up Bye-Bye Balboni. He's hitting .185, a homer and 3 runs driven in. 2-8 to the lefty, or from facing a lefty is a ground ball to short. 2 down. And that will take us to Ed Hearn. He's not carded by Strat, but I have the computerized version. And Ed Hearn has, let's see, it says 5th at bat of the season. He's 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts, so not very good. I'm sorry, no, take it back. He's 0 for 5, but he had 4 walks and 1 strikeout. I misread that. So he's got excellent on base with all these walks. 1-8, and he's going to actually get a double this time off of Rasmussen. So that is a 2-out double by Ed Hearn. Of course, he will not be held. And Angel Salazar, the shortstop, will be the batter in a clutch situation. Havoc roll for Rasmussen, nothing happening. Salazar is actually hitting 300. He's 3 for 10 in limited duty, no home runs or runs batted in. That's a 5-5, right-handed, and that's a ballpark blast. And it's a 1-8. He does have the normal power against the lefty. That's a 4. It's gone. Angel Salazar. He hits his first home run of the season. First 2 runs batted in of the season. And it's now a 4-3 game. Royals are right back in the game. Home run number 1 for Salazar. Look at it again, 5-5. And a 5-5 is the ballpark blast. Home runs in Yankee Stadium for righties are 1-8. That's a 4. And he has normal power against the lefties. So Angel Salazar has put the Royals right back in this game. And they now only trail by a run. And here's Willie Wilson. 4-8, switch hitter batting right-handed. That's a 1-8 single. That's a 14, though, so he will line it to short to end the inning. But 2 runs come in for the Royals. And they've cut the lead to 4-3. So it looks like it might be a wild one here at Yankee Stadium. We're just getting going here in the bottom of the second. Hello, Prague. Hello, Justin. Hello, Ben. Hello, GGG Sports Replay and Frank S. Anybody else I might have missed? I've been looking at the Strat computer doing the things and whatnot, so may not have been following the chat as well as I probably should have. Now I can, once I get through the order once, I won't have to do the, I won't be looking to do the averages, so I should be able to keep up better after that. So let's get going here with the bottom of the second. Danny Jackson will be facing top of the order, Ricky Henderson. Remember, they all 9 went to the plate for New York in the first. So Danny Jackson incredibly needing some innings because they have a doubleheader coming up. So they have to have some good innings here to be able to not have to burn all their pitchers in the bullpen in one day. They don't want to have to do that. So here we go, Ricky Henderson. It's a 2-5 left-handed. That's a straight-out single to right field. It's a clutch there, but of course we're not in a clutch situation, so it's just a straight-out single. And Ricky, who did steal a base in the first inning, will be looking, of course, to steal again. Why not? Why wouldn't you want to steal? Makes perfect sense that you'd want to steal. So they will set him up 6 or a 7 to get the jump. That's a 6. He gets the lead again. So again, it's a 19. It's a 15 because it's 19 -2 for being held, and then the -2 pitcher catcher makes it a 1-15. He stole last time on a 1-15. He's going to try to steal again on a 1-15. 17, he gets caught this time. So Ricky learning that crime does not pay, and Frank White puts on the tag for the caught stealing. So there's one away. Ricky getting caught. That'll now bring up Willie Randolph. 6-11, and that's a ballpark single check. It's a 1-7. That's a 15, so he will line it to short for out number 2. Randolph is retired. That will now send up Donnie Baseball. He was one of the many that walked in the first inning. Seems like Jackson has settled down. 5-9, and he's going to strike out Donnie Baseball. So a much better inning this time for Danny Jackson. as the Yankees go quietly in the second after 2 complete. It's 4-3 Yankees in this matchup. And I forgot to get let me get the records for you for this game. Yankees enter the game 5-4. Kansas City enters the game 3-5. So 5-4 versus 3-5. Should have wrote that in there and I didn't. 3-5 versus 5-4. All right. So Rasmussen back out. Starts the top of the third. And he'll be facing Kevin Seitzer. Seitzer doubled. An RBI double his first time up. Actually, not an RBI double. It was a double, period. Brett got the RBI on the sacrifice fly. So Seitzer, a 2-8 against Rasmussen, is a ground ball to short. And that's 1 away. So Seitzer is retired. Here's George Brett. Sacrifice fly his first time up. 5-12 left-handed. That's a ballpark single check. 1-7. That's a 17. So I'm going to stick with the ground ball to first. That was fielded by Mattingly, who flips to Rasmussen for out number 2. 2 down for Frank White. 1-5 for White, and that is a fly to left. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for Rasmussen. So maybe the pitching has decided that they need to settle down because both teams have to deal with the doubleheader tomorrow. And so they don't want to burn their bullpen. They want their starters to be able to give them at least 6 innings if they can. So bottom of the third we go. Danny Jackson will be facing Winfield, Ward, and Kittle. Winfield, Ward, and Kittle due up for the Yankees. 5-3. That's a ground ball pitcher X. Jackson is, let's get his, I think he's a 2E13. Let me double check it. Danny Jackson. He's a 3E13, my bad, 3E13. So 3E13 for Danny Jackson. So that means on a 3, a pitcher needs a 4 or higher to get to it. He does. And now the E13, he's got to avoid 11, 13, and 17, which he does. So it's a good play as Jackson will throw out Winfield for 1 away. Winfield is retired. That brings up Gary Ward. Now, I wonder if I got too much light here. Let me see if I can dim this maybe. I might have too much light. See if that helps any at all. I don't know. Hello, Robert. How you doing? JC, good to see you. I'm hoping that that lighting is going to look a little bit better. Let me fix the focus for you. I'm hoping having the light speed not quite so bright might help a little bit. We'll see. Here's Gary Ward. 4-8 for Jackson is a strikeout. So Danny Jackson. Boy, I don't know if he took energy pills after the first inning or what, but he has certainly settled down. And here's now Ron Kittle. 2-8 for Kittle. That's a 1-18 single. That's a 17, so Kittle will eke out a base hit. 2-out single, he will not be held. For Pags, Mike Pagliarulo. Nothing on the Havoc. Jackson to Pagliarulo. 2-9 left-handed is a ground ball to the pitcher, so Jackson an easy play over to Seitzer at first, and that's going to end the inning. So after 3 complete, it is 4-3 Yankees. Got off to a wild start in the first inning, but seems to have settled down at least somewhat going forward, but we'll see if that continues. Dennis Rasmussen, your pitcher for the Yankees. He can go 5 innings before he's fatigued. And Danny Tartable is your batter. Tartable popped to short his first chance on a failed clutch play. He rolled a 2-8 or a 2-9. I don't remember. It's one of these two down here, and he would have driven in a run, but he has the anti-clutch, and that cost him. 6-5. That's a ground ball to second. Willie Randolph will make the play, 1 away. And here comes Bo Nose. He had a bad day so far. He struck out at bat, and he allowed a single for Skinner when he couldn't get to a ball in the first inning. Cost him 2 runs. So 1-11, and he's going to strike out again. So Bo really having his issues. Might be looking to get back to the Raiders. All right, here's Balboni. 1-6, and he's going to strike out. So all of a sudden, the pitching has just picked it up like nobody's business. And the score remains 4-3. But the pitching has definitely taken over. Don't know what happened early, but whatever it was, they found the solution to it now. And Danny Jackson back out will be facing Joel Leonard Skinner. I still think this thing is too bright. Let me try something here. Don't know if that helps. And maybe I'll take the whole light off, see if that helps. Don't know if that makes it any better or not. It might or might not. We'll wait and see how it looks on the computer. Does that look dark, too dark, or does that look better? I don't know. Maybe we'll try it, see how it looks, see how it does. So I felt like I was getting too much of a glare off those lights, but maybe I wasn't. I don't know. Looks fuzzy on my end for whatever reason. I don't know why, but it does. Hello, Tim. How you doing? All right, here's Joel Skinner. 5-7 for Skinner against Jackson is a 1-2 single. That's a 19, though, so he's going to line it to short. And I'm going to need that light back on or I can't see the card. So obviously I have to have the light on. I can dim it, but I have to have the light on. So I have to be able to see a little bit here. My eyes are not the best. So, hello, Robert. In case I missed you, I thought I said something to you earlier, but if I didn't, I apologize. Here's Wayne Tollison. 1-6 against the lefty. He's going to strike out. So, man, both pitchers are in tune now. They were out of sorts in the first two innings, but boy, they really picked it up a notch. Here's Ricky. He's 2 for 2. 5-6. He's not this time. He's going to strike out, as Danny Jackson says. You're not getting on base this time. And at the end of 4, it is still 4-3. The last 2.5 innings have been all pitching. And now Rasmussen out for the 5th inning. This is his fatigue inning. He does have a 5 right here for fatigue, so we got to keep track of if he's going to get fatigued or not. And he's going to be facing Ed Hearn, Angel Salazar, who had a 2-run homer his first time up, and then Willie Wilson. Yeah, I don't know if I can. I'm trying to fix this focus on my camera, and I don't know why it's not focusing the way it should. There's got to be some kind of a. I'm sure there's some sort of a. Hey Dan, how you doing? There's got to be something on my end that's causing it, but I'm afraid if I hit a button, it's going to lose the whole thing. So I better not mess with it. Let me try this. Let me try doing this and getting it back and getting it back and see if that helps. It may or may not. I don't know. The pain of using a phone instead of a camera. All right, so it's Ed Hearn to lead it off against Rasmussen. 4-9, right-handed. That's a ballpark blast, but he has weak power. The blast is 1-19. It passes, but since he has weak power, it's just going to be a single for Ed Hearn, but it will be the first count against his weakness. So a leadoff single for Hearn. Brings up Salazar. He's an excellent bunter, but he did hit a home run last time, but I still think the odds say you're better off to bunt. The Yankees have the corners in. First, we'll make sure there's no wild pitches or anything. Oh, there's a 1, so it's a possible wild pitch on Rasmussen. So we got to check that before you worry about any kind of bunts. So let's go to Rasmussen here. Get his card. Get his... Oh, I don't have to get his cards right here. It's a wild pitch of 8. So it's a wild pitch of 8. So he's going to have a wild pitch before the bunt even comes up. So he will wild pitch Hearn to second base. And now Salazar the bunt will be pulled off. The infield is going to go back to normal. And Salazar will just swing away. That's a 2, so it's a chance of a balk or a pass ball. That's a chance of a balk, but it's a 0 balk rating. So now we finally get the at bat for Salazar. It's a 3-4, and that's a pop out to second base. That's a big out. Get the out with nobody advancing. Pop out to second. Here comes Willie Wilson. Wilson is singled, scored, and lined to short. 6-4 is a ground ball third base X. That's Pagliarulo. He's a 2E20. So as a 2, he has to have a 3 or better to get to this. And he does. That's an 18. So an 18 is a G1, which could be important with a runner at second. And let's see. Now I'm drawing a blank. Oh, it's hit to Pagliarulo. Okay. So it's being a G1. That's going to probably hold Hearn at third base, but we'll check Pagliarulo's error is an E20. And that means 11, 14, and 15 have to be avoided. And it is. So that's a 5-3 ground out. And with it being a G1 hit to the left side, he's got to hold. So he will stay at second base. 2 down. Clutch situation now for Kevin Seitzer. And Seitzer, looking at his card for clutch, he loses a clutch single on 2-3. But it's a 5-7. That's a ground ball second base X. That's Willie Randolph. He's a 2E17. As a 2, once again, he needs a 3 or better, which he gets. E17, he has to avoid 6, 15, 18, and 3. And we roll a 3. It's a 2 base. Unbelievable. How do you like that? Triple ones, and E17, and a 3 is a 2 base error. A 2 base, I don't know how well it shows up on here. Let's see if I can get it up a little closer. But for the people that don't have the chart here, it's an E17. A 3 is an E2. Means 2 base error. To roll a 3. Unbelievable. So it's an E4, 2 base error, which will tie the game because Hearn will now score. So Willie Randolph allows the tying run to come in and score. And now with that chart up there, I definitely got to fix the focus. All right. So now, George Brett, the batter, with Seitzer at second. He will not be held. But it's a tie game at 4. That run is unearned, obviously. And here's George Brett. 4-7, and that's going to be a Royals lead. That's a 1-9 double. That's a 7, so it'll be a double for George Brett in Kansas City. And that's Rasmussen's now tired. He is now fatigued. They want to try to get him through the inning, but they may not be able to. Bullpen activity. Tim Stoddard, a right-hander that was just called up recently, or just came off injury, whichever the case. He just got on the roster recently, so he's fresh. So he's loosening the bullpen, but they're going to see if Rasmussen can get out of the jam. That's a 1, so the wild pitch rating, again, is an 8. And no wild pitches. That's blocked by Skinner. So here's Frank White, clutch situation again. And in a clutch, he loses a single on the 3-12. 3-9, though, is going to be a pop out to third, so it doesn't matter anyway. That's the end of the inning. 2 runs come in. One of them earned, one of them not. But the Royals now lead it by the score of 5-4, and that's going to be it for Rasmussen. His day is done. He's going to go 5 innings. He's going to give up 5 runs, 4 which were earned. He's going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. And he's going to walk. He didn't walk anybody, amazingly enough. He struck out 3. So those are his numbers. 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. But he's on the losing end of a 5-4 game. However, if the Yankees take the lead in the bottom of the 5th, he would turn around and be the winner of record. So lots of things can happen with that. But right now, Danny Jackson is going to enjoy this lead as he comes out. And Willie Randolph, who just made that big 2-base error, trying to atone now, as he'll be facing Danny Jackson. 2-7, and that's a single. It's a good start for the Yankees. A single by Willie Randolph. To get the lead, he needs a 3. That's the only way he gets the lead is on a 3. And it's a 5. He does not get the lead. So he's got a hold, but here comes Donnie Baseball. Randolph is being held at first base. But here's Donnie Baseball. He's walked and struck out. 1-9. That's a double to left field for Don Mattingly. Left fielder arm, Bo Jackson's a -2, so they will hold Randolph at third with nobody out. So second and third, nobody out for Dave Winfield rather. The infield for the Royals is in, trying to choke the runoff. Here's Winfield. He has walked and grounded back to Jackson. 6-7, and that's a ground ball second base X to Frank White. He's a 2E11, and as a 2, he needs a 3 or better to get to it. He does. It's an 8, and on an 8, a 2 and an 8 is a G2. So we'll see what that brings about with the infield in. And his error rating's at E11, so he needs to avoid 15, 17, and 18, which he does. So now we look at the chart under a G2 with the infield in, runners at second and third. It's to the side. It says lead runner can attempt to advance a base, but with nobody out, they're not going to attempt anything. They're just going to, this is going to be a ground out to second, 1 away. And they'll leave it up to Gary Ward now. Hello, Kenyon. How you doing? JD, good to see you. So second and third, 1 out now. That's a 2, so chance of a balk or a pass ball. It's a balk chance, but he has a 0 balk rating. So Ward now, with the infield still in. 2-7 for Ward, struck him out. Danny Jackson, a huge strikeout. So second, third, nobody out. All of a sudden, it's second and third, 2 outs, and Ron Kittle in a clutch situation. And he loses a clutch single on 3-10 and on 2-7. So he's got 2 anti-clutches that he has to avoid. Jackson to Kittle. 4-7, right-handed, is a walk. And back to those dastardly walks again. It's going to load the bases now with 2 outs for Mike Pagliarulo. Pagliarulo is struck out and grounded back to Jackson. Pagliarulo gains a clutch on a 3-10 and on a 1-11, so he is pro-clutch against lefties. That's a 1-7, though, and he's going to strike out to end the inning. So the Yankees leave him loaded, and at the end of 5 innings of play, it's still Kansas City 5 and the Yankees 4. And now the new pitcher for the Yankees will be the newly minted Tim Stoddard. This will be his first appearance of the season, I believe. Let me double check the stats on that, but I believe it's his first appearance. But I will verify that according to the records, just to make sure. Stoddard. Actually, it's his second appearance. He's pitched 1 inning. I'm sorry, he's pitched in 1 game with 2 innings pitched and an ERA of 0. 1 hit, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. So it is his second appearance, not his first appearance of the season. It's his second appearance. Tim Stoddard. His hold is +4. So the +4 factor on steals. So that could certainly come into play. He'll be facing Tartable, Jackson, and Balboni. 3 right-handed hitters for the Royals here in the top of the 6th. Of a 5-4 Royals lead. The Yankees led 4-1 after 1, but Danny Jackson has found his groove since then and has been leading the way, so to speak. 1-8 for Tartable against Stoddard is a strikeout. So Stoddard comes in throwing gas and gets Tartable for the play. For the out, and here's Bo Jackson, who's had a bad day, striking out twice. 2-4, and against the right hand. Oh, he's hit by the pitch. He gets plunked, and he's not happy about it. Bo Jackson not happy about it at all, but Tim Stoddard is a pretty big guy. He used to be a basketball player. So I think Bo's going to settle where he is, but he might try to steal on him. 6 or a 7 to get the lead. And he gets the lead, so he's going to attempt the steal, which is a 16, but it helps him a 14, but the +4 Makes him an 18. So 1 to 18, he'll steal it. And Bo Jackson gets a modicum of revenge with a stolen base. So he's in scoring position. He will be held at second base for bye-bye Balboni. Steve bye-bye Balboni. 4-9, and that is a strikeout again for Stoddard. So now, whoops, how did Rasmussen get in there? He wasn't supposed to be there. It's Ed Hearn, the batter. Clutch situation. Runner at second and 2 outs for Ed Hearn. Hearn is 2 for 2. He's doubled and singled. He was a .294 hitter on the regular season. Whoops, Suadice. I've got to re-roll that. 6-6, and that is a strikeout. So Stoddard strikes out the side. Aside from hitting Bo Jackson, that's the only thing he did that was not kosher, but he gets around that. We go to the bottom of the 6th, still 5-4, favor of the Royals. And this is the fatigue inning for Danny Jackson. He's got a 6 for his fatigue, so we'll keep an eye on that. He's going to face Joel Skinner, Wayne Tollison, and Ricky Henderson. I'm going to keep my rule of not pinch hitting until we get to the 7th. So Skinner and Tollison have to bat. 110, and he's going to ground it to short. 1 away for Wayne Tollison. 1-7 for Tollison is another strikeout. He has the hat trick. He struck out all 3 times. Here's Ricky Henderson, 2 for 3. That's a 5-9, and that's a fly to right field. So full endurance continues for Danny Jackson. He gave up nothing. So he keeps full endurance into the 7th, which is important because of the doubleheader they have to play on the 19th, the next day. So they're going to see how many innings Stoddard can give them to try to save other guys in that bullpen, if possible. Stoddard will come out for his 2nd inning of work. He's going to face Angel Salazar. And then the top of the order, Wilson and Seitzer. So now, hello, D. Scott. How you doing? So now we're in the 7th inning, so substitutions can be free. But Salazar hit a home run his first time up, and he's a good defender, so you're not going to take him out. 1-9, pops to short for 1 away. But you like that 2 at shortstop. You don't want to be putting in a 3 or 4 rated shortstop when you got a 2 shortstop. All right, here's Willie Wilson against Stoddard. 3-7, struck him out. Stoddard with his 4th strikeout. He's been dominant. Here's Kevin Seitzer. That's a 3-7, and that's another strikeout. So Stoddard strikes out 5 of the 6 he faces in the 2 innings he works. He's going to try for a 3rd inning as well. So he has full endurance going to the 8th inning. So we're going to the 7th inning stretch here at Yankee Stadium. After 1 inning, it was 4-1. And now it's Kansas City 5 and the Yankees 4 as we hit the 7th inning stretch. And I'm going to stretch with everybody else and take a little quick stretch going right here. Been about 50-something minutes, so probably could use a stretch break. There will be Randolph, Mattingly, and Winfield coming up for the Yankees' heart of the order. Jackson, in his last fatigue inning, gave up nothing, so he has full endurance. So he's looking to see if he can't squeeze out another inning and then maybe turn it over to Quisenberry or either Steve Farr, one or the other. Kenya, my interview with Jeffrey Guterman is tomorrow at 7 Eastern on his channel, not my channel, his channel. It'll be on his channel, but I'll be interviewing him, kind of a role reversal where he interviewed me the other week. So this time I'll be interviewing him. He's already given me some questions he wants me to ask him, but I have a few that he doesn't know about. So I will kind of maybe drop the bomb on him with my questions as well. So 7th inning stretch time. I'm going to take a quick stand-up break, and then we'll resume with the ball game. It's 5-4. Royals leading the Yankees. Again, the Yankees are 5-4. The Royals are 3-5. So Kansas City needs this win, particularly with Oakland getting off the good start that they are. They don't want to fall too far behind. I know it's early, but you still don't want to fall behind. Oakland is 10-2, so if the Royals win this game, they'll be 4-5, and that'll put them like 4.5 back. So, If you lose, you get about 5.5 back. So, or 5 back. So you really want to, keep within shouting distance if you can. Oh, I didn't hear about Rocky Colavito. Boy, I tell you what, it tells you we're getting old when all the guys we're used to seeing play are passing away. I believe Bill Melton passed away recently as well. And I think the Veterans Committee got it right with the election of Dave Parker and Dick Allen. I have no problem with either one of those guys in the Hall of Fame. No problem whatsoever. Especially with Harold Baines being in there. Those two were much better than Harold Baines was. All right, so we're ready for the bottom of the 7th. Willie Randolph, rather. 1-6, and he's going to draw another walk. Boy, that's a lot of walks for Danny Jackson. And so now the Royal bullpen, Steve Bridge too far is loosening the bullpen for the Royals, just in case. Let's see, can Randolph, he needs a 3 to get the lead. Oh, Merv Retman passed away. I forgot about him as well. Cannot get the lead, so he will stand pat. Here's Mattingly. Jackson to Mattingly. Mattingly had a big double his last time up. 5-7, and that is a single 2 stars. And that's going to put runners at the corners with nobody out. And all of a sudden, Danny Jackson having some issues, and we got right-handers coming up for the Yankees. So I think the Kansas City Royals might very well be going to make a move here. Kansas City will be making a move to the bullpen. There will be a call to the bullpen. And it will be for Steve Bridge too far. So we can't close the book on Danny Jackson just yet because the runners on base are his responsibility. He can win it. He can also lose it. So Steve Farr will be coming in. See if he can get Jackson off the hook. Farr is a +5 on the hold. So that makes it a +4. So Dave Winfield will be facing Steve Farr. Steve Bridge too far. Let's get the numbers I can give you for Jackson to this point. It's a lot of walks, I can tell you that. Let's check out the walks real quick, just out of curiosity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 walks for Danny Jackson. He struck out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 strikeouts I've got him for. He goes 6+ innings. Going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. And so far, 4 runs all earned, but he is responsible for Randolph and Mattingly. So Dave Winfield stepping to the plate. Again, George Steinbrenner's favorite Yankee. And the infield is going to play in. Nothing on the havoc. Far to Winfield. That's a 1-10 for Winfield. Ground ball, shortstop A. And with the infield in, they've got a hold. They've got a hold. And of course, what I use to determine that is the super advanced ground ball chart. And when there's second and third with the infield in and a ground ball A, it's a 1. And 1 says batter out, runners hold. Pretty simple. So Winfield cannot get the job done. And that'll bring up Gary Ward. They do have lefty Claudel Washington and lefty Dan Pasqua on the bench as pinch hitters. You wonder if they might pinch hit for Gary Ward here. I think they're going to get a call to the bench. Yankees will be making the call to the bench. As Lou Piniella says, I need a hitter. And we're going to have Claudel Washington. And Washington will stay in the game to play left field. He's actually a better fielder as well than Gary Ward. Got that -1 arm and an E5 versus a E6 and a 0 arm. So Claudel Washington. So Washington pinch hits here in the 7th and then plays left field in the 8th. So Claudel Washington up to the plate. Havoc roll for Farr, nothing happening, but Claudel wants to put the ball in play somewhere in the air in the outfield if he can. 4-8, and he did just that. 4-8 is a 1-9 double, 10-20 single. It's a single, but it's 2 stars, and that will tie the game. As scoring from third is Randolph. Mattingly will take third. And a big RBI single from Claudel Washington that gets Rasmussen off the hook now. So he is off the hook. Takes the win away from Jackson, and he could lose it if Mattingly scores. And the Yankees end up winning the game. Here's Ron Kittle. Kittle has singled and walked. Washington will be held. He has to be held. That's a +4. They could try to send him. Get the lead, he needs a 6. Can't get the lead, so he will hold, but they will have to hold him on. But Kittle's a decent double play candidate, so they're going to play back for the double play. 6-5, and that is look at this. 6-5 is a 1-7 in home run chance. That's a 5. Ron Kittle, normal power, just hit a 3-run home run for Ron Kittle. Ron Mon Paul Kittle, a 3-run shot. We'll look at it again on the replay. Steve Farr, a 6-5 is a 1-7 in home run chance. That's a 5, and he does have normal power. So Ron Kittle just goes deep, and Steve Farr, a bridge too far on that pitch, and he is just giving the Yankees the lead. Has Mr. Kittle with the 3-run, with a 3-run homer. Take it back. It's 4 runs. It's 8-5 now. Yankees lead it. Tim Stoddard now can get the win in relief. Danny Jackson would be looking at a tough luck loss. Here's Pagliarulo. 1 out and the base is empty. It's a 5-4. That's a ballpark single check. 1-7. That's a 4. It will be a single for Mike Pagliarulo. So he's aboard for Joel Skinner. Pags will not be held. And Farr may need some relief here pretty quickly himself. 1-6 is going to be a strikeout, so that helps him out a little bit. 2 down for the shortstop, Tollison. But 4 runs are in. That's a 2 chance of a balk or a pass ball. And it will be a balk chance. Steve Farr, let me look at his balk rating. Steve Farr's balk rating. And his balk rating is a 0, so he can't balk. That's one of the downfalls to the 87 set is they don't have the balk and pass and wild pitch ratings on the cards. Have to get them off the viewer. Off the computer, I should say. All right, so here's Farr to Tollison. 5-4 switch hitter is a ballpark single check, but that's a 15, so that will end up being a fly to left to end the inning. So the Yankees put a 4 spot on another Abraham Lincoln 4-score inning. The big blow, the 3-run homer from Ron Kittle. And we can now close the book on Danny Jackson. Both those runs belong to him. So he gives up 6 runs. They were all earned. So a nasty outing for Danny Jackson. That's going to do it for Steve Farr as well. He goes 1 inning. He's going to give up 3 hits and 2 runs. No walks and a strikeout, and they're able to go to somebody else out of the bullpen. Probably looking at Gumpert, I would imagine. If I had to guess. Dave Gumpert looks like he's loosening in the pen. So now it's reboot for the Royals as they thought they had a good thing going. All right, so here is George Brett Stoddard in his 3rd inning of relief. It's a 4-7, and that's a single. So that's the first knock against his point of weakness. And now the Yankee bullpen, they don't want this to get away either. So they do have left-hander Pat Clements loosening in the pen. Frank White is your batter, Brett not being held. 2-10, and that is a fly to left field, 1 away Frank White is retired for Danny Tartable. Nothing. Oh, it's 2, so chance of a balk or a pass ball. Chance of a pass ball. Pass ball rating for Skinner. We'll check his pass ball rating. Joel Skinner. His pass ball rating is a 1. So it has to be a 1 to be a pass ball. Oh, almost was a 1, but it flipped back to a 7 at the last minute, so no pass ball. Here's Tartable. 5-9, that's a strikeout. Another strikeout for Stoddard, his 5th. And it's up now to Bo Nose. Bo can redeem himself. One long ball gets him right back in the game. And he can make up for past failures, although he did get hit by a pitch last time. Maybe that makes him mad enough to do something this time. 4-11, and it's a fly ball left field X. That's the new left fielder, Claudell Washington. And Claudell Washington is a rating of 3 with an E5. So in left field, a 3. Let's get the number of what you need for that. As a 3, he has to get a 7 or higher. He does not. It's a 4, so a 3 and a 4 is a single 2 stars. So we know Brett's going to make it to third base. Now we need to check for an error. His error rating for Claudell is an E5. And the only way he makes an error is 4, 14, or 18. And none of those, so it's a base hit for Bo Nose, so maybe he's redeeming himself also. And now runners are on the corners, and Tim Stoddard might be needing some relief. Might very well need some relief here. Bo Jackson, if he wants to try to get the lead, 6 or 7. He cannot get the lead, so he will stand pat. And bye-bye Balboni, who is 0 for 3. Now the question is, do they pinch hit with a lefty? And I think they will. They're going to pull bye-bye Balboni. He's going bye-bye. And the Royals are going to try to get a guy who can actually put the bat on the ball and put it in play. And they got a couple of left-handers on the bench that could take over as the DH. They're going to use Thad Bosley, a 279 hitter in real world on the season. So Thad Bosley will take over as the DH. So Bosley is now your DH. Here in the 8th. Thad Bosley. Now the question is, do the Yankees counter with Clements? And I think they will. So the Yankees will counter that move with Pat Clements for a lefty-on-lefty matchup, as Stoddard was obviously starting to get tired. So Pat Clements is on. And let's see, do they pinch hit for Bosley behind that is the question. They could bring in McRae or Beniquez. Actually, the Royals are going to pinch hit with Beniquez. So Bosley will be announced, but he'll be taken right back. He won't get a chance to hit. It's going to be Juan Beniquez, a 251 hitter, right-handed. He will hit for Bosley. So it will be Beniquez. So Beniquez will pinch hit here in the 8th and stay in the game to DH. So Beniquez, so the wheels are turning in the Yankee and Kansas City dugouts. So who says you can't do strategy in the American League? You can, just not as much as National, but there's strategy to be had. All right, so Clements is on. His hold is a -3. Skinner's a 0, so he's a -3 on the hold. Stoddard's going to go 2 2/3 innings. He's going to give up 2 hits. No runs, but he is responsible for both runners. He didn't walk anybody, but he did hit Bo Jackson, and he has 6 strikeouts. So Beniquez now against Pat Clements with runners at the corners and 2 outs. It is a clutch situation. Bo Jackson is going to be held at first. And now Clements to Beniquez. 3-6 for Beniquez is a ground ball to short, and that's going to end the inning. So Clements gets the Yankees out of it. Backs up Stoddard, picks him up, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. It's still 8-5. Thought the Royals might have something there, but just not quite. And now the Royals, speaking of them, will go to Dave Gumpert. Dave Gumpert will come in and pitch for the Royals. And he's a -4 hold, so that's a -5 total. So Gumpert will be on to face the top of the order. Ricky Henderson, Randolph, and Mattingly, but that -5 hold might put the kibosh on Ricky trying to do anything. We shall see. All right, Gumpert to Henderson. So let me fill in all the guys that have been used. So Gumpert's in, and Clemens is in. Okay. And Claudel Washington has been used. Okay, so that's who they have available. All right, Gumpert to Henderson. 6'4", and that is a fly ball center field X. That's Willie Wilson. He's a 1E1. So you know he's going to get to it. The question is, will he make an error? The only way he does it is on a 17. And there's not going to be an error there, so Willie Wilson will make the play. Ricky is retired, 1 away for Willie Randolph. Gumpert, 1-6 to Randolph is a ground ball to short. 2 down for Donnie Baseball. He's singled, doubled, walked, and struck out. He's 2 for 3. Got a couple of runs scored. And, of course, a drop a D6, which is very prevalent in my games, apparently. For some reason, I can't seem to control one of the D6s. It's never the D20. It's always the D6 that eludes my grasp. And now I've got to figure out where it went. That can be a mystery in itself. You never know where the die is going to go. Oh, there it is down here. It was one of the blue ones, not the white one. I was looking for a white die, and it was a blue die. No wonder I couldn't find it. All right. Donnie Baseball. 6-7. That is a 1-19 single, so that's going to be a base hit for Donnie Baseball, his 3rd hit of the game. He is 3 for 4. He will not be held at first base, obviously. And here's Winfield. Gumpert to Winfield. Oops, Suadice. Let's re-roll that. Keep him in the tray, why don't we? 6-8, and that's a single to right field. Right fielder Arm Tartable is a 0. Mattingly, though, doesn't run very well. He runs at a 12. Not being held is a 13. 2 outs makes it a 15. First to third is a 17. So Mattingly will actually take third base. They will throw to second to keep Winfield at first. So they cut the throw, and Mattingly with 2 outs, and that effect of the +2 going from right field to third base allows him to get to third. So now runners are at the corners with 2 outs. Winfield not going to try to go anywhere. They're going to leave it up to Claudel Washington. Came in to hit for Ward his last time up and got a single. Gumpert, 6-8 to the lefty, and that's a single to center field, and that will score a run. That will score Mattingly. Winfield will hold at second base, but now the score is 9-5. It's Dolly Parton style. 9-5, Dolly Parton. Gumpert couldn't get it out of the inning the way they wanted him to. Here's Kittle. He had the big home run last time. That's a 2, so a chance of a balk or a pass ball. It's a 6. It's a chance for a pass ball on the catcher, Hearn. And his pass ball rating's a 15, so that could put runners at second and third. It does. So pass ball is going to move the runners to second and third. And now a base hit really blows the game open. So Gumpert to Kittle. 2-8 for Kittle. Struck him out, and that's going to end the inning. But an insurance run comes in to make it a Dolly Parton 9-5 special as we go to the top of the 9th. Yankees looking to improve to 6-4. Trying to keep pace with the Brewers, who are 10-1. So trying to keep within striking distance. Pat Clements is eligible for a save because he came in with 2 outs in the 8th when the score was closer and runners were on base. So not going to bring Righetti in because there's no save situation, but they will let Clemens go and see what he can do. Coming up for the Royals, it'll be Hearn, Salazar, and Wilson, but Hearn and Salazar will not hit. They will bring in Hal McRae, and he will hit for Salazar. I'm sorry, for Hearn. Hal McRae will do the hitting for Mr. Hearn. So Hal McRae will lead off, and he will be the pinch hitter here in the 9th. Then we'll figure out who the pinch hitter is going to be for Salazar. Whether that's they might stick with Salazar. We have to wait and see. They might end up sticking with him. Hard to say. But Hearn is out and McRae is in. Try to spark something for Kansas City. It's a 9-5 Dolly Parton game. And they're trying to climb the mountain. 310. McRae, a left-hander, is a solid single. So Hal McRae, pinch hit single. He will not be held, obviously. His run doesn't even mean anything. So Salazar is a 205 hitter, so Kansas City's got to have somebody better on the bench than that. And we are looking at Larry Owen is the only righty still on the bench. 189, that's not good. Boy, they just don't have a whole lot. Jamie Quirk's 236. They're going to stick with Salazar. They just don't have much on the bench, so they're going to stick with Salazar. Play the lefty-righty percentages. Clements, nothing on the Havoc. Here is the pitch to Salazar. 5-4, that's a fly to center. And there's one away. That'll flip the order to Willie Wilson. Righetti is in the bullpen loosening just in case, but the Yankees are hoping they can save him for the doubleheader. That's what they prefer. Hello, Phoenix. How you doing? I've been looking at the chat here lately. I've been focusing on this game. All right, here is Clemens to Wilson. Well, first of all, Havoc roll. That's a 1, so it's a chance of a wild pitch for Clements. Let me check his wild pitch rating. And his wild pitch rating, whoops, not Rick Cerrone. I need Clements. See if he has a wild pitch rating. He does. It's a 20, so it's an automatic wild pitch for Clements. So Pat Clements will wild pitch McRae over to second base. Again, his run doesn't mean anything. They're down by 4, so they're not even holding him on or caring about him. 2-7, and that's a strikeout against the lefty for Willie Wilson. So Clements 1 out away from securing the save, and I believe that would probably be his first save of the season. Double check it, because Righetti's been getting obviously the share of these saves. So Righetti has 2 saves, and that's it. So this would be the first save for anybody else, and that would be Clements. But it's Kevin Seitzer with 2 outs and a runner at second. Still considered a clutch situation. 1 is another wild pitch, so that's an automatic wild pitch again on Clements. It's going to move him to third because he has that 20 rating. So Clements to Seitzer. 5-12, and that's a ground ball second base X. That's Willie Randolph. 2E17. To get to it, Randolph needs a 3 or higher, which he does. Now he's got to avoid the error. On an E17, he's got to avoid 3, 6, 15, and 18. He rolled a 3 last time for a 2-base error. Hoping not to do that again. That's a 9, so I believe that's going to be good. Yes, it will, and that's your ball game. Pat Clements does get the save, and it turns out to be a 9-5 ball game. Dolly Parton style, 9-5. Yankees over the Royals. Yankees improved to 6-4. Royals dropped to 3-6. Winning pitcher is Tim Stoddard. He's 1-0. The save to Clements, his first. As Clements goes 1 1/3 and gives up a single, no runs, no walks, and 1 strikeout. Gumpert in relief of Farr. Gumpert went 1 inning. Gave up 3 hits and a run. Losing pitcher was Danny Jackson. He's now 0-1. Let's see, he gave up a run. No walks and 1 strikeout. All right, so for the Yankees, they pound out 13 hits The Royals manage 9. Errors in the game. I know Willie Randolph had that one error, the 2-base error right there. So we know he had an error. And I think that was the only error of the game. So scan over this. I think that's the only. So I think it's 9, 13, and 1 for the Yankees. 5, 9, and 0 for the Royals. And if we look at left on base, just out of curiosity, Kansas City 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left on for Kansas City. For the Yankees, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They left 9 on base. So there is your final. There are your final results, I should say. In this one, the Yankees, in an ugly game, even though they win it, it's an ugly game. 9-5 the final. 9 runs, 13 hits, 1 error, and 9 left for the Yankees. 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors, and 6 left for the Royals. Winning pitcher was Tim Stoddard in relief. He's 1-0. Pat Clemens gets his first save. The loser was Danny Jackson. 6 innings, 6 runs, 7 hits, and he takes the loss to drop to 0-1. Yankees 6-4, Royals 3-6. And the April 18th docket has now been complete. And we move on to April the 19th and the game that will be on video for April the 19th, because I'm not doing the double headers. It will be the Twins and the Angels from Anaheim. That will be the game on video, and it'll be sometime probably close to this weekend, because I do have the interview with Jeffrey Guterman tomorrow, and I need to play all these. It's going to take a while to play these double headers, so most likely I'm shooting for either Friday night or Saturday, sometime maybe Saturday morning, perhaps. I don't know for sure, but that's what I'm shooting for, and then we'll see what happens. In the meantime, I also want to, look over the rules of the Hockey Blast and the second season football that I just recently received in the mail. So I want to kind of, start to get some things with that going as well. Already printed out all the PDFs for the 1976 NFL season, those team cards for second season. I've already printed out the 2023 NHL season for Hockey Blast. So got the players in line. You just need to learn the rules and get everything set up and see what happens. I know RJL wants to play, or is going to be playing something with Batman Arkham or something along those lines. So if that fits your cup of tea, go check out his channel. I know he's going to be lining up to do that. He may already be starting that. I don't know. But anyway, that's going to do it from here on a Tuesday night here in New York, as the Yankees defeat the Royals by the score of 9-5. I don't know any other Dolly Parton songs. Oh, you're not starting yet, RJL. Okay. Anyway, thank you. Appreciate that. I was trying to think of another Dolly Parton song to end the chat with, but I don't have one off the top of my head. So the only one I really know is 9-5. So that's what I go with. Yankees win. Yankees win. The Yankees win. And 1987, April 18th is in the books. So if you're interested in hearing how Jeffrey Guterman got started in Strat-O-Matic and his history of Strat-O-Matic, check out his channel tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern, where I will be interviewing him on his channel. And if you're interested in that sort of thing, he'll be there for that. Otherwise, for this channel, mostly likely going to be Friday night or Saturday morning. It'll be the April 19th game between the Minnesota Twins and the California Angels. I believe it's Don Sutton. I don't remember off the top of my head who's pitching for the Twins. I think it's Mark Portugal against Don Sutton, if I remember correctly, but don't hold me to it. So that's going to do it from here. Oh, Here You Come Again. There you go. That's a song, I guess. Islands in the Stream was with Kenny Rogers, so that's not really a Dolly Parton song. It's kind of a half and half is what I call it. I think she did a song called Jolene or something. Like I said, I'm not a Dolly Parton aficionado by any means, but anyway, just whenever I see 9-5, that's what I think of. So I do appreciate all you guys spending part of your Tuesday evening with me. Hope you enjoyed the Yankees and Royals, whether you're a Yankee fan or a Yankee disliker. It was a wild game. 4 runs in the first, 4 runs in the seventh. Kind of bookends against the Royals and their 5 runs. So that's going to do it from here. Till next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.